All right, hello all, and welcome to the next COVID Chronicles. This week's edition, we're going to be with head baseball coach Stephen McNett. Coach McNett, how are you doing today?
Doing well. I'm just trying to enjoy as much as I can, being at home and there's no baseball.
Right.
So,
Well, you still been doing some work on the field, right?
yes, Coach Gove and myself, we've been at the field de-weeding all the warning track. We were out there mowing and weed eating, getting all that stuff going. There's some really good things that we're about to do for the baseball field. We're about to get it laser leveled. We're going to add right around 38 to 40 tons of dirt just in the works for that. So there's definitely been increase with that. And again, Coach Gove has been tremendous help with me on that.
Sweet. Sounds like you're still productive.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were talking about it. We don't like being lazy. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
being stuck inside and not doing anything, it really stinks. And so, you know, we're all of us coaches, we like to be active and busy, and especially, Coach Gove and myself, like we like to put work on the field. We want our field to be as good as it possibly can be.
Yeah, those are good. We'll go ahead and get started with the interviews. Questions. All right, here's the first one.
All right.
If you could go on a vacation anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Alaska. I would really like to go to Alaska.
Okay.
It's like the last wild frontier, and it's beautiful. Everything that I've ever seen about Alaska is absolutely amazing. I'd like to go out on the water, and there's pods of killer whales out there. Like it would be so intense to witness. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, I know it's taboo, but like I've been to SeaWorld and I've seen, Shamu and stuff. That's an awesome killer whale. But could you imagine like free killer whales out there? Like that would be awesome. And then obviously the mountains and all that, the trees are beautiful, but the possibility of seeing a grizzly bear out there or any of the other wildlife, like that's where I would want to go. That's
And
definitely number one on my bucket list.
you might get to wrestle a grizzly bear or something if you go there.
Maybe I'll have to bring Jackie Moon with me.
I like it. All right, so this next question, I think I know where you stand on it, but I'll ask it anyways. Who is the most feared baseball player of all time?
I wish that I could have.
The most feared baseball player, that's hard, but the most feared hitter was definitely Barry Bonds. Obviously he had some of his, negatives about him, but I mean, the most feared, he was intentionally walked the most of all time. He has the most home runs of all time. No matter what you want to say about it, like he was the most feared hitter. Pedro Martinez, he's also in there as, the most feared pitcher, at least of my generation growing up. Just his dominant 1999 and 2000 seasons were incredible. And then you look at it, other pitchers like Randy Johnson and Greg Maddux and, in recent memory, Jake DeGrom and Clayton Kershaw, like those are the most feared. But I guess if you're going to say overall, I'd have to go Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's a tough one to pass on.
It really is, and some guys go out there and rant and rave about whatever, like, hey, Ted Williams is the best or is the most feared or, whatever. Get off your crutches, old man. Like, let's be real.
I like it. We'll ask our audience. We'll see. Comment below, and we'll see if you agree with Coach McNett or is it someone like Ted Williams. We'll see what our audience thinks.
And that's not diminishing what Ted Williams did. It's
right.
Just, hey,
we're talking about the most feared.
Right. Like it's hard to score from first on a bunch of singles versus a guy who puts a big fly out there, or who's the last person that's been intentionally walked in the ninth inning with the bases loaded. Like, hasn't happened very often.
Right.
Barry was one of them.
Sounds like he was pretty feared to me.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
All right, for the next one is, what's your favorite quote from The Sandlot?
You're killing me, Smalls. No, that's a good one. I really like, he's an L7 weenie, like all that stuff. Like Those quotes are great. The back and forth between the preppy, rich little league players versus the Sandlot kids with Ham Porter, him. Like that was a great one. You bought for toilets from the toilet, and you like it. So stuff like that. I don't know. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick out one quote from that movie.
Yeah, it's a very quotable movie.
So we know you're big into your going to the gym and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that are, just trying to get pumped up like you, what is your go-to, your favorite song to work out to?
Man, well, I like to train, to be able to lift in any kind of situation. So there's times where I go like a month or so of listening to Disney music when I lift. I know, right? Or, with no music or, heavy rock or rap or, I want to be, I don't want to be like, well, there was no good music in the gym, so I couldn't lift. So I've always wanted to do that. I really like Rob Bailey. Back before, I was here at Central, I would listen to Rob Bailey a lot. I definitely wouldn't recommend that to our students. NF Radio, the Christian rap artist, like he's actually really good. So I like to listen to him a lot. And then when it comes to rock, like My Chemical Romance or Blink 182 or stuff like that, like put the headphones in and let's get to work with it. But you can never beat a good Moana soundtrack when you're out there lifting. You get the Maui song going and it's like, all right, hey, I want to lift just like The Rock. So let me throw that around.
That's fair. I like it. I'll note all these down. So next time I hit the gym.
You can throw, maybe when the golfers go lift, you can throw the soundtrack on.
See how Coach Moody likes that?
Yeah. Maybe we'll listen to The Good Dinosaur or whatever that he was talking about.
There we go. All right. This next one is, if you had an actor play you in a movie, who would it be?
Just because of looks, I'd probably have to say Brad Pitt.
Ooh.
Because we look alike.
Right. I mean, at first I was like, is this Coach McNett or is this Brad Pitt?
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you thought maybe you got Zoom bombed. No, I don't know. Like, maybe Jack Black.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
First off, he's funny. Second of all, I think, we're similar body types. But I would love to have like Vin Diesel or definitely The Rock play me, but not quite there yet. If you know what I'm saying.
In progress.
It is a work in progress. Yeah, yeah. So I would say those guys. Take a pick.
Like it. We'll let the audience decide who should play you.
Yeah, we'll put it on a little Twitter poll.
All right. So this next one is. Kind of going away from the goofiness a little bit, but just kind of getting to know you, where you're at with your faith and those kind of things. But what got you into coaching?
It was my freshman year of college. I was at Bethany University out in Scotts Valley, California, and my pitching coach was Jake McKinley at the time. And we were talking about pitching and talking about all this stuff and just picking his brain and, hey, like, why do we do this? Why do we do that? And what's the reasoning behind it? And I remember it started off as a tutoring session with psychology for me and my best friend. We were in his office and we were going over our psychology homework. And then it turned into talking about coaching and whatnot. And then to see, the impact that a coach can have on a player, not just for, if you're a junior college for the 2 years or at a 4-year college like us, for 4 years, but to see the effects that you can have on 40 plus lives every single year. That was something that really intrigued me. There's not a lot of good role models, male or female anymore. And so like I want to be teaching these kids or these young athletes, not just about baseball, but I want them to learn like how to battle through adversity, because one day, life isn't smooth. This situation is evident in it. And so I want, athletes to be like, well, hey, I was able to push through this situation in practice or a game, and I know that I can come out on the other side of it. this difficult situation, I felt like quitting the team, or I felt like, this drill or whatever was too hard, but I mentally stayed locked in and was able to push through it. That's kind of my drive or reason why to coach. I mean, yeah, obviously, we want to win and we want to put up great stats, for everything. But if we went out there and won 40 plus games, but each one of my players didn't have a plan for their life after college, or yeah, we won 40 games, and well, now what? I put all of my eggs in the basket of baseball. Like, there's a lot of faltering at that point, versus, hey, we won a lot, and now I know how to be a good person, or I'm continuing that part of it. Like, that's huge. That helps, and it doesn't matter if you're from a Christian college or another college. Having 40 plus guys with good morals, strong-willed and strong-minded people go out there and impact the community wherever they live. That's huge. That's earth and community and all that. That's shattering. If we had a lot of these athletes go out there with that mentality and mindset.
Yeah, that's good.
You're good. Thank you.
So next one, we already talked a little bit how the COVID has kind of already changed up our plans a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you said you're just working on the field now, kind of having to change. Obviously, don't have baseball games going on, so kind of just preparing for next year. All the coaches have been recruiting a lot. I know that, and really just trying to connect with our students in whatever way we can right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that, since we've already talked about that, we'll just go on to the next one of how has this year impacted your relationship with Christ?
Well, when all of this happened, I was in Florida, and I mean, within an hour or two, life flipped upside down. There was no baseball game that was happening on Friday. At the time, Coach Gove and I were, he was working on the field to make sure that we could play Friday and Saturday. I was in Florida calling a bunch of other places to try to, relocate our game if we couldn't get, all three of them in at our place. And within an hour, everything flipped upside down. And so, for me personally, it's, God is still in control. Our physical and real life stuff is going haywire right now, but God is in control. And I believe that, as long as we put our faith in him and work towards that, God's going to take care of us. Now, I'm not a believer to where God's going to take care of it, so I just put faith in God. God will do it. God will do it. God. I believe that, hey, I believe that God is going to deliver us from this situation. However, I have to do my part as a human, and whether that's, hey, social distancing, or making sure I'm staying healthy, or helping others during this time. That's faith in action, in my opinion. I can't say, hey, I trust that God's not going to let me get burned and walk into a bonfire, and then if I get burnt, hey, God, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, there's still guidelines to it, at least in my opinion. And so, like, my faith has gotten stronger because this is uncertain times. Like, I've never had to deal with this in my lifetime. Like, when I was in college, the swine flu was a really big epidemic, or whatever you want to call it. But it didn't shut anything down. You know what I mean? And so I didn't get to experience anything like this. And so now, my first year of marriage, the second year of coaching here, like, all of this has happened. And so, our physical brain can't really comprehend everything, but if we place our faith in God, that, hey, God's going to take care of us. I have to do my part and follow instructions, but God's going to take care of us. I think that's how my relationship with God has changed or grown.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. I think that's just a big thing that people tend to forget. Like, although the times are bad, this is a great time to rely on Christ and grow in a relationship, even when times are bad.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'll say, not just like, just rely on God, like, hey, God's going to take care of me through this. And I'm perfectly fine. I mean, you still have to take the steps towards that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I have a couple buddies that live out in California that are now on unemployment because of the job thing, right? So, and we've talked about it, and he's, I told him, you can't just say, well, hey, God's going to take care of me, and then sit down on the couch and not do anything. What can you do to improve your situation? Yeah, God's going to take care of me, but maybe I have to go do a different kind of job right now, or this is kind of forward thinking, or maybe too out there. But I mean, what's stopping people from, hey, God's going to take care of me, so let me plant some vegetables or whatever, so that, I mean, hey, I don't have to go out there and buy a bunch of stuff. I'm taking what God has given me, a brain and the ability to work and sunshine and water and stuff like that, and I'm able to help the situation.
Right. I think James talks about that. Faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So I think you're hitting it right on the nail there. So lastly, what is just a message you want to send to the student body here at Central?
The baseball team, we have a saying, it's no soft serves. We can't be soft during this time. Soft serves, they melt when the heat gets on them. So for us, don't melt under pressure. Soft serves don't know what they're worth, so they fall for anything. Know what you're worth, and know that you have to keep going, and that not just with the COVID stuff, but with your grades. Know what you're worth. Know that you are an intelligent person. So take care of your grades accordingly to that. Don't be a soft serve. No soft serves. And so it's stuff like that. That would be my message. Go out there, be smart. Don't do anything dumb that we're not allowed to do right now. Know what you're worth. Study on all your tests and all your homework and stuff, because you are worth it. You know what I mean? You're pouring all this resources into your education. So don't be a soft serve. Know what you're worth. Work for what you're worth, and hold yourself accountable for it. That's what I would say. And go follow us on Twitter.
Well, Coach McNett, I really enjoyed our interview. I appreciate you taking out the time of your day to spend just kind of just letting the students know a little bit about you, kind of see a little bit of the more goofy side, let us know about you on a more personal level. And then also just thank you for your wisdom that you shared. And
got a lot of wisdom.
And I think that's all I got for you.
Yeah. I mean, as long as people realize the most feared hitter of all time is Barry Bonds, and to just get that in their brain and kind of move on. We don't live in the 30s anymore, so let's move forward with it.
I like it. All right,
All right,
Coach.
thank you, Colin. You too, man.